Okay, so we are recording. Hello everyone. Today we will discuss further. We will go further and do implement the session management and all those things. Till now we have just made the database schema and done with the authentication part. Today we will do session management. Before that, I'll tell you some more ways to uh, do authentication. So let me share my screen and then start working on it. Okay, tell me if my screen is visible. I think it's visible. So we open the VS Code. Okay, so till now we have done this this login and register route. So uh, here's someone who is asking that instead of is instance, can we do this login part in other way? So one such way is to like keep a select input here in the login button. We can keep a select input and user can select uh, uh, what is his role in this application. So let me take an example. Suppose here if I take an not input, but if I give a drop down to the user and I'll give options to it. I'll say suppose admin. First option is admin. While login, he'll see this option. Second option is like this customer, and fourth option, third is option will be professional. And let's see how it looks like. So I'll run the server. So yeah, here user can choose what he as what entity he wants to log in. So he can choose. Now, how we will receive this admin and or whatever in this drop down. So there is a way. Uh, this value attributes in this option, it tells us that what will be the value of this option when he click on admin, right? So if he click on admin, suppose so if you are not taking this value, then the by default value will be taken. So admin will be the value of this option, and customer will be the value of this option. So we don't require this value just now. Okay, so now I have to receive this option thing in there, right? So I'll give it a name. I'll get a name of this attribute as role. So this element has a name role. So I'll just import it, extract it here while posting.
Sorry, sir. I missed something.
What
What
did you
started?
miss?
Yeah, just 2 minutes I missed.
So we are just making this select option that a user can like while logging he can select as what role he is logging, right? So he can select any of these role and he can
And where we are adding?
in the
In the
login.html, right? We are adding in the
login actually, in the login, main login. Okay.
yeah. So in the select,
Okay.
I have given these three options, and the select element name is role. So I'll just extract it. Role role is quest dot form get, and the name of this role is role. So let's see if I am able to retrieve this. So I'll just comment this down. I'll comment it. I just want to retrieve the options. I just commented this, and I'll return the row that we are getting. I'll return the row. So let's see, I'm able to retrieve this role from there. Right? So I'll refresh it, and I'll give whatever, and just select as customer. So let's see if I'm able to see customer. Yeah. So I'm able to retrieve this role, right? As what role he is logging. So now I'll just uncomment this thing. Instead of doing this whole thing in the same like in a single line, what I can do, I can choose if role is equal to customer, then I can choose this, and I can just delete it, right? And now this person is added, right? This person is queried. If it is a customer, then it will be queried. Now we will check that is this really exist in our database. If it is, then now we will again put that if this person exists. If this exists, that this will contain something, right? If it does not, then it won't contain something. So if person and person dot password, we will check. So then if this match, then we will return the and redirect it to dashboard, customer dashboard, right? Otherwise, we will say else return, we'll say wrong password, right? Wrong password. The codes we have to write wrong password, or use email does not exist, right? Exist. So this is how first I extract the role. What is the role he has chosen? Now under that role, I'll query with the email that he has sent in the database. Now if that email exists in the database and the password is same, then I'll redirect it to customer dashboard, right? Now otherwise, I'll say that here if the password not exist, then it will go to else, and I'm saying that the password not match, or there could be that this person also is not present, right? This person contains none, then also that is it should go to else, and say that email does not exist also, right? So any one reason could be there, right? Now same thing we can do for I can just copy it, and then same thing I can do it for professional. So I'm just
And where it is taking the role, if role is equal to
yeah. So this role I extracted from the form, right? Request.form.get and role. So this role is we have
just
just now created here, right?
just just we created the role in the HTML login.
HTML form, right?
And where at
In,
which
in
line
the form.
action is there and class where when they will when the user will enter the email ID and password, then it
He
will check
he should select it, right? He should select this.
at that time
Yeah,
whether he is admin or customer or professional.
yeah, correct. So we can just
Suppose some admin is there and he is going to per customer.
Hmm.
selecting customer by mistake or by intentionally,
Yeah, yeah.
then what will happen?
So suppose this is a I'm a admin, okay, and I put the name here, I put the email here, I put the password here, and I select customer
Customer,
by mistake,
and
okay.
I am actually admin.
And I am actually, my email is of admin, right? But my
Yeah,
customer, I selected as customer, right? Now
yeah.
what will happen here? I'm checking in the routes that if where it goes, yeah, forgot uh, forgot about this below part. We will check till here. Yeah. So if this,
In the routes it will go to login. Yes.
so here it will go to login with post
Mhm.
method, right? Post
Method.
method, we will retrieve the email, role, and password. So email will be of admin, but the role he has chosen as customer. So he will go to here. Now in the customer table we will look for this email, and we will not able to find this email in the customer because the email is of admin, right? So
Mm.
that's why this person will be empty, right? This person contain nothing because the
Person is
database
none. Person is none.
person none. So it won't redirect to dashboard, customer dashboard, and
Else it will
it's,
go to else.
yeah, else, or email does not exist, or it'll say that password wrong, something like that. Okay.
Okay, I suppose email exists and we are entering wrong password.
So it will
Then another thing will come.
so here also I'm matching suppose I'm correct,
Both
right?
is there.
Both is there, right? So
Both is required.
mhm.
Person should exist and password should be PWD.
Yeah, if you want to do like step by step, then you can, if you can first check that if that email exists. So if that email exists, then you can write, then we will do further things. But email, this email does not exist, means this person has none. So we can say email does not exist. Now inside this I can again check that now the person exists, means, right?
Okay,
Now I
okay.
again check that the person dot password, I can check now here. Sorry, password.
Nesting. We can do by nesting.
Yeah, we can do. I know why it's not working. Okay, so if password equal to pwd, then now password also matched, right? So I can just
Mm.
redirect it to customer dashboard, and now otherwise email exists but the password is wrong, then I can say, I can return uh,
Mm.
password
Correct. Yes, yes.
is wrong. So we can do this nesting part, right? mm,
What wrong is coming?
I don't know why it's giving me. Okay,
Inverted comma is there for this.
inverted commas thing, yeah. So we
PWD.
can do this nesting, right? So this is how we can do. Now same thing, this if for customer, same thing we can do it for not the customer but uh, professional, right? So this is how you can also do it. It's a very fairly simple way to do it, right? So you can do it like this.
The same thing we are doing for all the three.
Customer, now instead of customer, so if I just do professional, and I will change the,
For admin also it is required, no?
yeah, yeah, for because the all three will be login, right? So
Hmm.
here also, now instead of doing customer dashboard, I'll just change the dashboard name, professional dashboard. So this is how we'll check, and either we can write this here instead of doing.
Same thing.
See, for customer also we have, right. If role is customer, then we will query for a customer. If the role is for professional, then we will query for the professional, right? So he is choosing that for what role he is going to log in, right? So this is how we can do. Otherwise, we
Admin
can,
will also be required, no?
yeah, admin will record. I'm not going to do that. So
Okay,
just like
okay.
going,
Okay, admin.
I'm just telling you that how to use.
Hmm.
So I'll use the previous method that I was doing, right?
Okay, okay, fine. Okay.
So that is. Let me just. Yeah. So I'll remove this role part. So I hope you are getting that how how in multiple ways we can do this thing. It's just about your ability to think in this way, right? It's nothing. There's like conceptual. It's your ability to like how much you can think of.
So in the all the register form, we have to edit, na, in the customer registration, in the professional registration,
Yeah, you have to tell that
HTML.
where it should go. Like I'm not getting in
The
like,
the role checking will be everywhere or in only in the login.
because for registering we are making different register page na, so why that will create a confusion, right? So
Okay,
while
directly
registering
we
he
are
will,
checking at the login.
yeah, so no, suppose if I have to log in, my
Mhm.
database is okay. I'll start again. Go to app.py file, run it, and yeah. So while registering, I'm just specifying that for which I'm going to register. Now this is a customer page, so there won't be any confusion that it I'm registering for as a
Yeah, that
professional.
is okay. That is okay because we are choosing whether I am customer or
Yeah, correct.
professional.
So there's no confusion in registration route, right?
Mhm.
Registration is route will be tailored for a specific entity, right?
When it is redirected to login,
Yeah.
then
It,
only this
yeah,
analogy will be.
when he log in, then he has to choose if you want to do with the role. Otherwise, with this instance, we are checking in the backend that whatever email that we retrieved, is it of
Mhm.
user customer table? Then we will send it to customer.
Already we did it yesterday,
Yeah, so we did this, right? So
and
this is
today
how.
we are.
My,
Mm,
Yeah.
I have one doubt. So here only, like
Hmm.
while the password was incorrect, so here only can we not implement the alert thing, like
Yeah.
going to taking back the person who is trying to log in with the wrong password
Yeah.
to the login page, and then showing the alert actually, ki
Yeah.
incorrect password, something like that. Okay.
So, like, what? Okay, I got your question. So,
Mhm.
suppose he's here at the login page. He
Yes.
will put his email, he will put his password, and
Yes.
he will submit. Then, on this page only, he should get an alert. Okay, the page should
Yes.
not
To
load.
again log in
Huh,
if he or she is typing incorrect password.
incorrect password.
Right?
I got this,
That
and
will also, yeah,
I'm just going to tell you this, and
fine.
I implement this part, and how we're
Okay.
going to do this. So there is a Flask function. Okay, there's a Flask function that we have to import. So here from Flask we have imported render template, request, and redirect. There's something called Flash. Okay,
Okay.
Flash. And how will I use this? So let me do it here. So if that person exists, and let me do it this way. This person exists. Where it goes. Then I'll check if person dot password matches or not. If this matches, then I'll go here. Otherwise, I'll say return. I'll again the password is not matching. So I will redirect him to again that login page, right? So
Yes. Yes.
I'll redirect him to again login page. Now similarly for so here I can do this. Is instance, and there's something wrong, is it? No. Okay, so that line has lost. Okay, so I'll write it again. Else I'm return redirect to login page. So if the password matches, then it will go and it'll check that of which person, which class it belongs to, and it goes to that route. Or if nobody, like, it won't happen that it will go. Ideally, it won't happen that it will go to this else part. But just I'm just keeping it for the sake of a condition. If
Okay.
nothing is matches, then he will go to login. But the main part is here that if the password does not match, then it should go to login. If this, if the person, so if the email does not exist, the person will be none if the email does not exist, right? So it will contain nothing in this person. So also here
Mm.
it should go to again login. And
Should go to register page, right?
yeah, it should go to register page, correct. Yeah, correct. But we don't know for which he should go to register, right? So we can just to send
Same
to
condition
home
you
page.
can put here. Okay. Okay, fine.
How we will put condition here, right? We don't know whether this email does not exist, right? This email does
Mhm.
not exist. So now he has to like login.
Mhm.
He has to
Yeah.
register for that. And now there are two things. For your case, there are only single, right? So
Yes,
you
yes.
can redirect to login that
Yes.
registered customer, right? But for
Mhm.
for me, there are two
To admin
customer
and customer. Yeah.
customer and professional, right? So
Okay.
like where I should redact to for register, so I'm not sure. So I'm just sending to the home page. He can select that
Fine.
from there. But i
Okay.
can i can send an alert there, okay? How will I alert there? But first for let's do for password, okay? So I'll just do flash, okay? And I'll
Okay.
flash the message wrong credential, your password, try again, okay? I'm saying this now.
Mm.
How this will go to go to that page, okay? So what Flask does, so do you know that when we do this render template or something, uh, where it goes, yeah, uh, with this register professional, yeah. So I'm doing this render template for this register to show the category, service category in this register HTML page,
Yeah.
right? So I'm sending this variable, but in this variable all the categories are going, right? So
Yeah.
this render templates uh, will take this as a variable inside this, and we will use this variable in Jinja template, right?
Yes.
So Flask also what it does, Flask use this flash message, and whenever we are rendering a template, it it creates a variable called messages. Okay, it creates a variable
Okay.
called messages. Okay, and we can use that variable and retrieve whatever the messages we have given through this flash. Okay,
Okay.
so internally, a message variable is created by Flask,
Mhm.
and we can use that inside our HTML. So in which HTML it go? It will go to this login route. With this, the user will go to login again. If
Yeah.
the password does not match, he will go to login. So here our login, where it goes. Oh, yeah, so we are only logging here. So it will go again go to login, and now it is redirecting, means the method will be now get, and
Yes.
it will render a template and login HTML. Now in this HTML is shown to user again, right? Now here in this HTML we can use that message variable. We didn't specify the message variable, but Flask itself created the message variable for this flash that we just recently did, right? So
Okay.
this flash is created a message variable. Okay. Now that how we will use that message variable. So we'll go here, and before the form we have to show the message, right? So there is. Let me take it from there. The syntax. I have used that syntax. Uh, oh, wait a second. Otherwise, what you can do? Let's start. And let's take a alert card. So this is a alert card. So I'll give a red alert. Okay. So I'll use this danger tube. I'm using the danger tube, and and one second. I'll copy this div. Here I want to show the div. Okay, so if I go to this login, so this message is shown right here. This message is shown. So you can choose this message. Okay, so it's not, we want that after 5 seconds or so it should go, right? It should go, but it's not going. We will check, we will do that, but the alert is shown. But now here I want to show the message that I'm sending through the flash, right, instead of this text. So I'll use I'll write a condition if something inside this message. Okay, if there is something flashed, then I'll, if message. So let me take it. Wait a second. Let me take the syntax itself. Let first I extract the syntax and then tell you. Where it goes. Okay, so I got it. Look, then we can, let me share my screen. Okay, so let me put the syntax here and then I'll explain it to you. So I'm creating a container. Okay, I'm creating a container and I'm giving it a here. Yeah, so this function get flashed message, this this function is of Jinja template. Okay, this Jinja template function we can use to extract the all the flash messages that we have sent it, right? So it will, what it will retrieve, it will retrieve the flash just now we have created. And you can just remove this category equal to true. So I'll tell you what this category equal to true means in a short time, and you can do it like this.
Get flashed messages is a keyword.
It's a function of Jinja template. Okay, we are using Jinja template. So I'm saying that retrieve the message from this with this
What
function.
is the definition of this function? Get flashed messages.
So it's a inbuilt Jinja function. Okay, it's an
What
inbuilt
it
Jinja
will
function.
do?
Are you following the class? Like I have just tell you, right, that
Okay.
whatever flashed we have just now, whatever we have flashed here. Okay,
Flash is also a function, no?
yeah, flash is also a function. Whatever we are I said that, right?
Argument is wrong password, right?
Yeah, it has an argument is wrong password, and
Hmm.
this now this get flash message will retrieve the flash message that we have created, right? And it could be like I'm flashing two things. So flash, and I'm saying XYZ. So I'm while redirecting to this login, and I'm this login, what it will do, it is rendering this login.html template. So in this login.html template, I can use these two flashes, just immediate flashes. Okay,
Because this flash will work when the person.password is not correct.
yeah,
Then
password is
else
not
part
correct,
will go.
then
Then
XYZ.
only this will work, no?
Yeah, correct. So it will go here, and now I want to retrieve the flash message and show it to the user. So I'll just retrieve the flash message using this get flashed message, and I'll like put it inside a variable messages. So this messages variable will be a list. Okay, this message variable will be a
We
list.
are creating this variable messages, or this is also a keyword messages.
So you can do right?
Okay,
It's
anything.
a variable.
It is anything.
I
Okay, it is
use
a
the
variable we are
word variable.
creating to get to fetch the messages we have flashed there in the routes, right?
Ah, okay, so first let me finish and then tell me that you are
Okay,
getting or
okay,
getting wrong, right?
because I'm confusing with that. Okay, plus you do it then first.
So we are retrieving a message, all the messages, and we are storing in a variable messages. Okay, you can take it any name of this variable, and it will have a list. And because I can do multiple flashes, so I'm doing two flashes, so there will be two elements. Okay, so it will be a where it goes. Yeah, it will be a list. Sorry for that. So I'm in this login, so it will be a list. Now I'm just checking that if there is no any flash, if there is some flash, then it will show it to the user. If there is some flash, then for I'll run a for loop for each message in the flash in this list, and I'll show this to the user here. Okay, so this is the alert that we have taken, right? That alert we have taken from uh, here. So yeah, alert secondary, and I'm giving it a dismissal. There is this utility. It's not shown here, but if you do this alert dismissible, then this alert will be automatically dismissed. So this is a class of Bootstrap. So I'm giving this div a alert class, means this div is a alert, and this alert dismissible says that it will be dismissed after few seconds, and fade means that it will just fade out when showing to the user. It will fade out. Okay, and the BG warnings is the for color, background color. Now, in this div, I'm showing a message here. Okay, and this is a cross button. This is a cross button. You can just, if you don't want, just remove this. Right? It's a cross button. I'll show how it will look. So I'm ending this for here. I'm ending this if here, and I'm ending this with here. Okay, so this is just a basic Jinja syntax. But now what we are just doing, we are just fetching all the flash messages in this message variable, checking if there are some messages stored in this. If messages are there, then I'll run a for loop here. For each message, I'm creating an alert, and in this alert, I'm showing the message, actual message. Okay, so I can do this M. So this is the messages list, and M is a single message element, and I'm showing the single message here. Now, if I go here, if I go to login, so it's not showing to me, right? Because when I just refresh it, this login page, when I just refresh this login page, so then what is happening here? I'll go here. I'm refreshing the login page, right? So it's going here and go to this get and showing this template, right? Login template, login.html. So there are no any flash messages here directly, right? Yeah, so there are no any flash messages here, right? So it this HTML goes. Let me just remove this unnecessary HTML. Yeah. So this login.html, what it tries to fetch the flash messages, but just now there are no flash messages, right? Immediately there are not flash messages, so this message will contain nothing, and this if condition fails, and nothing, no alert will be shown, right? So I just refresh, so see there is no alert shown. Now let me see. I'm using this email, and I'm putting wrong password. The password was XYZ. I'm putting PYQ. Okay, and I log in as customer, and if I submit it, so if I do submit, I'm saying an error. Session is unavailable because no secret key was set. Okay, wait a second. Mm, okay, we have to set a secret key. Okay, there's this secret key. I'll tell you what it does. Okay, Flask ask for the secret key. I'll tell you in first few minutes when we will go to the session part. Before that, I'm just configuring a secret key. So app.config secret underscore key. Okay, let me see. Secret. Okay, secret key. And the value of the secret key is you can take anything. Okay, so I'm just randomly taking my secret key. Okay, so this Flask using a secret key, okay, called my secret key. Now what it does, I'll tell you in few, I think 10 to 15 minutes, but just bear with it that there is some secret key that is configured with a Flask app, and this is a my secret key. Now if I do it again, go back, refresh it, put password and again, and say customer and submit. So see, two flash messages are here, right? Two flash messages are here. So because
Yes.
uh, I think you got your answer, right? How we implement this.
Yes, yes.
So these two flashes are there. Now a user can just cross it. So there's this cross button. So cross button, I think.
It was there in the code, right, earlier?
Yeah, it was there in the code. Like you can check it here, or otherwise, you can.
It's okay.
You have to check it because I have got this from this bootstrap only.
Okay.
So otherwise, you can take that. I'll give that to you.
But it was supposed to fade away, right?
It's fading out. Okay, it's
Hmm.
fading out. Well, means while showing it, it will like pop up. Like the transition, animation transition, fade out. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so
Okay.
it's a fade transition. It will show. Okay.
This is attribute alert, dismissal, dismissible, fad.
Yeah.
So these are
Yeah.
different attributes.
Yeah. These are different bootstrap attributes. Okay. So
Okay, then what it will do, where it is mentioned, bootstrap is not showing. No,
yeah, bootstrap is there in the sixth line.
no, no. This
No, no,
suppose alert.
this alert, disable, and fade show. This should do what functionality it does. Like does
Where it is mentioned, how to learn, a
Yeah.
number of things are there, and how
So
to search it.
just search it on the bootstrap. Okay. Alert dismissible.
Dash, alert, dash, dismiss.
Okay. So yeah. So here see this dismissible allows this alert to be dismissed. So I'll just close it and it dismiss, because this alert is allowed as this alert dismissible, and this alert dismissible is a already defined styling in the bootstrap, that how this alert dismissal will do. When you cross that, uh, when you click this on this close button. Okay, let me just refresh it. So how this close button is showing, due to this close button, this cross sign is showing. And now if I click on this cross, it won't go. Otherwise, if I have not mentioned this alert dismissible class. Okay, so alert dismissible make this alert as a dismissible alert, and this button will actually dismiss it. Okay,
okay, okay.
Which is the button?
so this is the button shown here, right?
This
Is it?
code, this HTML code,
Yeah,
the output of this HTML code is the above holy
yeah.
or
This
someone.
this
Is it?
this 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 whole yellow colored uh, alert, and this button, this close button corresponding to this cross. Okay, this close button corresponding to this cross.
How to run this HTML code? This
Just
flash kind of
copy
thing.
it. Just copy it.
No,
I'm just
this is the
copying it.
code copied, no? No, no.
Yeah.
Suppose I want to run this HTML code here to see what is happening. So which
So
one?
it's already how you are able to see this button, this particular container. It's because this is written here, right? This HTML is written, so Bootstrap is doing itself, right? You have to understand it, right?
Okay, okay. Bootstrap
Bootstrap is showing this. So suppose
somewhere elsewhere.
how you are able to see this particular
And
thing, because let me to take another example. Yeah,
yeah,
so this is an alert, right? This is alert
yeah.
shown here. So how you are able to see this alert? Because there is
Yeah.
this has written here. This is for alert primary. Okay, so that is why it says this alert is this color is primary, and then this alert is shown, right? So it's about Bootstrap, how Bootstrap has shown, right? He has shown the demo that if you write this code, if you write this code in your HTML, then the code will show like this. The output will show like this first container. Okay, if you write this code in your HTML, then the output will be this particular container. Okay, so you can just take it. Why to think multiple things in mind, right? Just take it and use it. This is Bootstrap, right? You are not doing like from scratch.
No, I was asking because suppose I copy the code. Sometimes you delete something, sometimes you keep something, sometimes you add something.
Okay,
So we
okay.
must know the functionality, na? What this will do and what this will not do.
So this is the whole
To
page
learn
is,
this one.
just read the whole page. Okay, go here,
Mhm.
go
This
to
is our
alert.
weakness. No, we are not reading the whole page. We are
Yeah,
just
you
copying the
just
things that we have to learn that.
that you have to do. I'm not going
Yeah,
to do
yeah. No,
like,
no. Just
yeah.
that's why I'm asking, na, whether there is some trick to just run it and find it, or whole page we should learn.
Or maybe
See,
you can
I'm asking.
create an HTML file in this app, Visual Studio, in the HTML file, and copy paste this code and try to run with the live server. You will be
yeah,
able to find out the
we
function.
can do that, right? There is nothing wrong in doing that, but that, see,
Okay.
it's already shown that how this thing will look like here. The Bootstrap is already shown it, right? So there is no point me showing this, right? So
Mhm. Correct.
like this one, like show live alert, right? How this appears, because there is this code written here. This code is written here, and Bootstrap is saying if you write this code, then the output will be this. Okay,
Mhm.
so it's about this. So you can just take see it here, right? Or otherwise, if you want, then I can do it. There is no problem
No, no, no,
doing
no.
this, right?
Got it. Just I wanted to how to learn this bootstrap also because bootstrap is very helpful. I
Yeah,
think so.
Bootstrap will be it's really helpful, right? You don't need to do
Yeah,
styling,
yeah.
otherwise it will take a lot of days to do
Lot
styling
of
only.
time.
So I'm just let me just create a HTML dummy, and I just copied that code, and we'll run it with a live server.
Okay.
Yeah. So see this button is shown. It's not working because I haven't take this Bootstrap link here. I have not applied Bootstrap link. So let me just apply it. And if I refresh it, yeah. So that is shown here.
Hmm.
Okay.
Correct, correct.
So
Right.
it's showing. You have to just take it. You can just read the whole page. It's written that
Practice.
how it
Practice.
works,
We
right?
have to make the practice to be
We have to learn
friendly with
this,
this.
correct?
This is the
So,
only way.
or
Correct.
I'll tell you another way after the class, at the end of the class, that how we should look at it. My main focus was to show the message. Okay, so we'll go again there, and we need a dismissible alert. So I'll copy this. Okay, I'll copy this, and okay, now I want to show this generic message that has Flask, this Bootstrap has given me. So I'll not use this. I'll use this message M. Now there's this button also that will use to close this alert. And why we how we will able to close this, because this dismiss alert dismissible. Okay. Now if I do, this is just basic Flask, sorry, this Jinja template thing, and this is the div that we have get from Bootstrap. And inside this, in the message, I'm showing the message that I'm retrieving from the get flash message. Okay. So if I do it again, if I log in, go to email, if I put wrong password, and submit it, see, I'm able to see. So I'm just close it, I'll just close it, so it's gone. I
Okay.
hope you got it right.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
So we can use it. So how will I'll just go again. I'm creating a container above before the whole uh, form body is shown. I'm creating a container. In this container, I'm first fetching the messages, all the flash messages. Now all the flash messages will be stored in a list here, and if the message are there, then I'll run a for loop. This is a of no point. Okay, this is of no point. I'm just creating a div. So there's this div. Inside this div, I'm running a for loop. For each message, I'll show it alert component, and in alert component, I'm just displaying the message, and this is a button that will close this alert, and this is a dismissible alert. That's why this close will work. Okay. So
Why
this
this
is,
we are using this div additionally div inside the loop?
you can remove it. Okay. I'm just, if
What was the convenience? No, just I
there's
don't want
nothing
to remove
convenience,
this.
it's up to you that how do you
Okay,
want to use, right? What a div use, it makes to like help you do
another space block.
another block, right? So I'm just creating another block
Okay, another
and
block is
showing this, right? So if it won't like, there won't be any problem. It's just a div. So
wrong password.
I'll just using wrong password again, same thing. No, nothing
So
else.
wrong password. Try again and XYZ. Where is the wrong password came from?
Above.
Route.
Yeah, it's shown from the route. It fetches from the that route that all the flash message we just
Okay,
shown,
go to
right?
the routes, please. Where it is coming? Routes
So
in the login.
in the login, it check for password. If password does
If
not match,
person,
then the
if
flash miss.
password doesn't, then plus message is both. Two messages are there, right?
Yeah, two messages
If two messages flags are already there in the post method, then this message will be stored in that Jinja, right?
Flask session it's stored. Okay, Flask session it's stored in Flask it's stored. Okay,
Where it is stored
in Flask itself, it's Flask
in the
Can
session.
server only.
Yeah,
In
in
the
Flask.
server
sorry,
only.
uh, can we move ahead with the session thing? Maybe with that we will be able to understand
Yeah,
like
yeah,
how
correct.
it's being stored.
Yeah, so it's stored in the Flask session. Okay, so and whenever we are retrieving, it retrieving from the session. Okay, so I'll just tell you one more thing about session, how session works, and then you'll be able to see. So let me show one problem here. Okay, without login, like ideally what should happen, I should go to login, like go to my dashboard after login, right? It's not like that. Suppose if I write customer slash dashboard, I go to this customer dashboard, what should happen? Like I enter, I'm not, I haven't logged in yet. If I enter, what should happen? It should not let me log in, right? It should not let me go to this dashboard, correct?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. Without logging, it will not go.
But whatever we have done here, what do you think what will happen if I press enter?
it
It
will
will
go
go.
to
It
first.
will go
It's going
because
to dashboard.
no restriction is
I
there.
want the restriction, right? And how, like how will I know that what whoever is login, who is coming to whoever is login is coming to the dashboard, right? I have to keep that in mind, right? I have to store that thing in somewhere so that I can retrieve it. So now suppose it, the password is matching, okay, and I'm redirecting it to dashboard. Now it's redirecting it to dashboard, customer dashboard. Now the thing that control will go to this dashboard route, and this is a fresh new request. Okay, Flask treat Flask based on HTTPS protocol. Okay, Flask follows HTTPS protocol, and HTTP protocol, what HTTP protocol is, it's a stateless protocol. Okay, it's a stateless protocol means every request is a independent request of previous request. Okay, so whatever happened previously, now new request does not know about that. Okay, so whoever login, I don't this Flask does not know, this server does not know whoever login. Okay, so now I don't know who is the user that just login, that the credential is correct for that. I don't know here. After coming to this route, I don't know, the Flask server does not know. Now I have to
Yes.
keep in mind that who is that. So what I can do, I can do either one thing. I can use query string. Are you aware of query string? I can do with this login. I'm redirecting to, not login, I'm redirecting to dashboard. So I can do query string, this question mark, and I can say id equal to uh, and id equal to, and I'll say the id of this person. Okay, id of this person. I will say person dot id. You will got in some times that what I'm doing.
Person
And
spellings are correct.
yeah, I'll correct it. So I'm just doing f string, Python f string using. I'm using Python f string and person. So this person ID. So how this route will be created? Now this string is customer slash dashboard question mark ID equal to whatever person ID, 1 2 3 4. So ID equal to 1 2 3, could be anything. And also I want to send and which uh, what I say, which class it belongs to. So I'll send uh, type equal to एक second, let me. Hello, hi. Sorry for that. Uh, yeah. So I'm also specifying that uh, I checked that this person is for user. So I'm specifying that it's a type of user. Okay, user. Okay, and type equal to user. And now and yeah. Wait a second. Uh, so this is returning to this dashboard, and with the id is as id and type is user. Okay, so whatever id is will be gone here, and the type is user. Now the it will come here, and now what I can do while saying this, I can while checking this get, I can use this the id that I have sent it with this id and username, that type user. How will I retrieve this? There is this uh, request dot args dot get, and the left hand side is id. This is id, so I'll retrieve the name as id, and I'll store it as id. So whatever I sent here, suppose 1 2 3 4 id equal to, so it's coming with this args and storing it this id. And type also, let me just copy it, and id and the name was type. So the type is stored here, and id is also stored here. Now I want to show the dash on the dashboard. I want to show all the personal thing of this customer, right? All the things I want to show. So I have to first retrieve that who has login yet. So I have this id now. I have this id of that person that is coming to this dashboard, right? And I can uh, do what I do. I can query user equal to, now db.session, again I have to do dot query, and query with for user class. Okay, and I think we don't need to specify this type here, right? So we know that I am sending to the customer dashboard, right? So type will be always user, right? So the customer dashboard, we know that for customer dashboard we have to query from the user table, right? So we don't need it. So it's coming here with id, and I will just query it from the database, filter by. I'm creating, I'm showing up what is the problem here, and then I will tell how to manage it. Okay, so I'll filter, and then id equal to whatever id we have retrieved, id dot first, and this user has we have retrieved it. Okay, so I'll while rendering the template, I'll send this user u equal to user in the HTML template. Okay, so what I'm doing, while logging, after logging, I'm sending that this person is has credential is matched, so I'm sending it to dashboard with his id. Okay, so now I will retrieve the id here, and retrieve the database like record of this user, and now I'll send it to dashboard using the all the details of this user in this u variable. Now if I have to show uh, where is this just a second, dashboard, yeah, customer dashboard. So I can show uh, h2, and I can show the name. So I'll just use change the template at the u dot name. Okay, u is the user object I have retrieved, and name is the attribute of that object. Okay, so I just use this u dot name. Whatever I want to show on this dashboard I can show. Okay, it's just a basic thing that I'm showing, name. Okay, now I'll tell you what is the problem here. What could be the problem by doing this? It's a fairly simple way to do it, right? Okay, I'm telling the second problem. Okay, first problem we got that there's nothing specified that user is logged in already. Okay, so I'll get to routes.py. So first is thing that I don't know whether he's coming from the login part, like he has logged in already, or second thing I'll tell you now. When I go to dashboard, yeah, so I will just log in. Let me refresh it. Go here, put correct password, send it as customer, submit it. So here I'm able to see my name, all these things. But now suppose this is the dashboard part, right? But there could be another page. Suppose there is a statistic page. So now for going to statistics page, I have to again put the id, right? Put the id that who is going to the next page. Okay, so I have to keep in check that who is the person who is currently logged in, right? Are you getting the problem? I have to keep that track. Are you able to
Yes.
understand the problem? So I have to keep the track of this person who is currently logged in. So that is the second problem. So we have two problem. So how will we handle it? We will handle it using Flask session. So what Flask session? How we will use it? Let me draw it to. There's one module called Flask-Login. Okay, one module called login. Okay, so it's not Flask-Login. So what this Flask-Login do? It creates memory type of thing. Okay, inside a browser. No, it's not a server side storage. It's a client side storage. Okay, it's a client side store. Okay, so in the client, in the browser it will stored, and what will stored, uh, we can like whatever object we have retrieved, right? Whatever the person object we have retrieved while login, let me tell you here. So this object we are I'm storing in the person, this Flask login will take this object and retrieve the primary key. What is the primary key of this person? Okay, how it will know the primary key of this object? So we will come into that, but it takes this object, it retrieves the primary key. In this case, it is ID. Okay, so it takes that ID and uh, it takes that ID, and we have just declared this secret key. This secret key is declared here. app.config secret key equal to secret key. You can take it like xyz, whatever it is, whatever you want to do. Okay, so I just use the secret key. So you can take it as a salt. Okay, it's a salt. So while Flask, what will do, it will take this ID, suppose 1 2 3 4 whatever it is, and take this secret key as a salt and mix it together and make a string, a ugly
What
looking
do you
string.
call the salt? Salt means?
Salt means I'm taking an analogy. Okay, take it as a salt. That whatever salt we
Okay.
use in the food, right? So you
Okay.
can take it as a salt, and I'm mixing it into this ID. Okay, I'm taking this salt. This is a string, and this ID also a string. Whatever 1 2 3 4 whatever it is. So it taking both the things and mixing it and creating a weird looking string. It could be like P, Y, Q, X, Y, Z. It's a long string. It's a long string, and nobody can decode this string. Okay, because I use this secret key. Nobody can decode this string. This is encrypted. Okay, so this key will be stored in a browser session. Okay, in a browser session. So if you see, wait, where I should go. Yeah, so if I go to, suppose here I am, if I go to inspect, and if I go to application, and there is this cookie thing, right? This is a browser cookie, client side cookie. Okay, so GitHub has all these cookies for me, for the user. I'm the user logged in for. So GitHub is using these cookies to store my information here in the client side. Okay, so this is how the string is stored. So this is the string. Are you able to see? There's an ugly looking string. Okay, uh, so let me do it. So this is a string shown, value string. So similarly, Flask also create this type of thing and store the ID with using the salt. Using the salt, salt is the secret key that we given, and create a string. Okay, and that string will be stored here inside this. Now, now while login, it's stored there. Okay, I'll something do there.
Inside the browser.
Inside the browser, the ID is stored as a ugly looking string. Okay, and nobody can decode this. Uh, Otherwise, like Flask can decode this. Other than Flask, nobody can decode this. Okay, until unless nobody has that secret key. Okay, if you have published this secret key, then somehow that someone can extract the information using like reverse. He can do reverse thing and extract the ID. Okay, otherwise nobody will able to do it. Now the ID is shown as a stored as a string in the browser here. Now there is something called login required. Okay, login required. So suppose after login, I checked the password. I stored the password is matching, so I stored the ID of this object to in the browser, and I am redirecting the user to the new route called customer dashboard. Okay, now I redirect to the customer to the new route. Now in the route I have mentioned that he should log in. Okay, the login is required before going to this route. Okay, so there's this mentioned that at the rate login.
Already login has been done, then he will go to the dashboard, no?
Yeah, so but I have just said right, that Flask is a stateless, follows a stateless protocol, right? So he does not know that previously he has logged in. Okay, he has just we are redirecting to the customer dashboard page route. Okay, so this is a new request. We are redirecting to a new route.
Okay.
So this is a new request.
Again it will ask for the login.
Yeah, so we have to check that whether he is logged in or not. So there is Flask login provide this function, login required function. Okay, this login required function, it will check that some ID is stored in this session, and when this ID will be stored when he is already logged in. Okay, when he is already logged in. So if it is stored there in the browser side session, then it will check for that. If it is there, then it will let us go inside it, inside the route. Okay, otherwise it will say that you are not logged in. Okay, it will say that you are not logged in yet. So now that thing is solved. Whatever what we are doing, I'm going to this customer dashboard without logging, right? I'm going to this customer dashboard without logging. So this is solved. Flask itself check that whether the ID of this whoever the user is coming, ID of this user is stored in the session or not. If that is stored, then he will send it to dashboard. Otherwise, it will say that login is required. You haven't logged in yet. Okay, so we will see in a minute that how it will prompt the user. So the first problem is solved. Second problem is to keep in check that whoever logged is coming to this route, right? And after going to other page also, I'm able to retrieve the person with this ID. So how this ID is useful in retrieving the person? So where it goes, yeah. So there's in the session this ID stored. Okay, in a string this ID stored. Now after this login, it will check this ID if it is not present, if it is present there, and he will query the database for this ID. Okay, for this ID it will query the database uh, in whatever what in whatever it belongs to, in whatever class it belongs to. It would query that table and store the record corresponding to this ID in a variable called current user. Okay, this is a standard variable. Okay, this is a standard variable.
Of Flask.
Yeah, Flask-Login. Okay, Flask-Login we are using. So Flask-Login is a Flask library also. So we are going to use that. So this current user is a variable. This login required, it will, what it will do, it will check for this ID. If it is there, then it will retrieve the record corresponding to this ID that is stored. Okay, so it will take the ID and it will query from the database and record the uh, whatever the object inside this store this whatever the object inside this variable current user. And this current user variable we can use in our route. So I hope what we will going to do, you have a clarity, like you have a visibility that what we are going to do. Now we will implement it in our code. So firstly I have to install Flask-Login. Okay, so how we will install Flask-Login? Let me just, I want to install, I have to install first from Flask underscore login. There's this Flask package, Flask login package. So we have to install it. It's not installed. So how will I install? I will
Keep install
first,
Flask.
wait a second. So I'll just install it. Before that, I'll activate the my environment dot my, because I have to install a new package and that should be installed in this environment only. So for my env slash scripts slash activate enter. So it's activated. Now I'll do pip install flask dash login. So the package name is flash-login, flash-login, and just to enter, it starts to install it. And yeah, so it's installed, and I quickly just store it in the requirement txt also. So I'll just do pip freeze again, freeze requirements dot txt, enter, store in this requirement. Okay, so okay, spelling is wrong, requirements. Okay, so okay, I put a wrong spelling, so a new file is created. Okay, so you can check it there, right? So here it's stored. So Flask login is present here. Now, what is wrong here inside this? Yeah. So this Flask login is installed and it's not giving a weekly line. So there is something called from Flask import login manager. That this is the class inside this Flask login, similarly to SQL Alchemy class inside Flask SQL Alchemy, right? So this is the class of login manager. How we will incorporate with this app using uh, login underscore manager is equal to uh, login manager, and inside this I have to specify this app, right? Like similarly we have done this db, right? We have done this db and then did app. Similarly we will do this app here. So my login Flask login is connected with my Flask app. Now firstly, now I'm going to use this I'm going to this Flask login.
Login manager is a function of the Flask.
Login manager is a class of this Flask. Okay,
Class of this Flask, and we are tagging with
creating
this
a
current app.
yes, this app we are connecting with this app. Okay, and it's the object name is login manager. We have given same name. Okay, so login manager. Now this will require our database also, because we will give it a object of whatever object we are retrieving from database. I'm going to give this person object to it, and now it will store the id, so it has to check the database also. So we have to connect it Flask login to our database also. So how we will connect Flask login to database? So we have to go to modules.py, and here also I should import Flask login, import user mixing. So user mixing is a class of Flask login that we have to implement in all the users that are going to log in. Okay, so that's how Flask will be able to know the name of this user. So Flask login will be able to interact with these classes. Okay, so using this user mixing class. Okay, I hope you are getting it right. Flask login has to look for the id in the database, right, for that object. So it will, we have to connect the Flask login with the with the our database classes. So I'm using this user mixing.
User mixin is the object of Flask login.
Flask login class. Flask login
Class, class,
class. It's
class.
a class of Flask login. It's a class of Flask login, and I'm in.
In the documentation, it will be there in the
Yeah,
Flask login document.
if you go to Flask login, it's mentioned that how this user login will connect this admin.
Okay.
But
Okay.
just think that
No,
this
just
Flask login, yeah. So this Flask login is on incorporated with this admin class. Also, our professional is also going to login. So I'm just specifying this user mixing for this, and for user also I'm specifying user mixing. Other classes I don't require it, but because I, for the entities I'm going to use it, I'm going to use this.
It is which requires login.
Yeah, which requires to login, admin, professional, and user. So I just specified this user mixing. So now this class is also connected with this Flask login, and this yeah. So this connection is done. Now how will I use this? Okay, so I'll go to routes.py. In the login route, while the password is matching, I'm checking that it is of user, and now I'll use a not here. I have to use the Flask login here in the route, right? So I'll just import Flask login. Flask login here. Import um, login user.
Manager.
Okay, this is a function login user function. Okay, login user uh, function of this Flask login uh, module. So that's how this Flask login user use. We want to store this user object. So I'll just use this login underscore user, and I will give it the object whatever I want to login, right? So this person is the person is present, the password is matched. Now I want to save the ID of this person. Okay, save the ID of this person in the session. So Flash login itself, now Flash login is connected with the database, right? So it will take this object and it will check which class it belongs to, right? So this person, suppose this person belongs to customer class. Okay, so it is connected with models, so it will go here in this admin. And using this user mixing, it will for this user it will go, right? So for this user mixing, it will retrieve the primary key. What is the primary key? It's the ID. Okay, and it will take the ID value of this user, particular person, and it will store it inside the uh, session here. So let me, this is dummy, not required. Let me, so inside this route, it has gone, right? Inside this route, it has gone. So the person ID is stored in session. Let me show you how it's stored. Okay, and where is the route? Yeah. So I'll just run the. So it's my session is running or not? My server is not running. Okay, so I'll go to app.py file, run the server. Okay, I'm getting error. Cannot access local variable. Okay, there's some error. I'm getting this error. App.py. Is it login manager or something else? Login. Yeah, login manager, not underscore manager. Login manager. Sorry for that. Login manager. Okay, this is the name of this class. Login manager. So this is the login manager. This is the main class that will be doing everything here, right? So this login manager is created with this and connected with this app. Okay, now let's see if it is working or not. So run it. Yeah, so now my server is running. I'll go here. I'll go to login again. Okay, sorry for that. There's one more thing we have to do it first. So we have to mention that how it will like I said that after login required, in login required, it should retrieve the ID the object once again. Okay, so how it will do, let me explain. Yeah, so this id is stored. Okay, when I did login user there in the route, here in the route, yeah, login user for this person, the id is stored in the session. Now I also have to write something so that the Flask able to retrieve this id and query the database again, and then store the record inside this current user object, current user variable. So for that we have to write a code. So how the Flask will retrieve this id and stored the corresponding what we say, corresponding user to this current user variable. Okay, so there is, we have to write uh, code that is inside this app.py file, and at the, so I created this login manager object instance of login manager. I will use this login manager dot user loader. Okay, this is a user loader function that loads the user from the, this loads the id of the user from the session. Okay, user loader, and I'm specifying a function, mm, load user, and it will take the id. So this, what this login manager dot user loader will do, it will retrieve the id from the session. So whatever the id stored with this login user, it's, it will retrieve that id, and it will pass the id to this below function, which is the load user function. Okay, so it will pass the id to it. So I'll take the id in the variable user id. Now the id, it will retrieve the id from the session and it pass the id to this below function. Okay, I'm using this decorator here. So what is I hope you are aware of the part decorator, how decorator works. Okay, so I'm not going to cover in this we don't have, I think, enough time. If time, if you don't understand this decorator, and then I'll tell it in the next session. So just keep it as like, it will retrieve the id of the user stored in the session, and it will pass the id to this below function here. So this id is passed here, user id. Wait a second. Yeah, so its id is passed. Now I have to do db.session.get, so query, and I have to tell the class user dot filter underscore by, and id equal to user id that I retrieved from the session dot first. Now how the hierarchy is working, this in the route.py, first this login user will take this object of this person and take the id of this object, primary key, that is primary key. It take the primary key of this person and store it in the session. In this case it's id, so it will store that in the session. Now internally, this what Flask will do, it will go here login manager, it will go here login manager dot user loader, and it will retrieve the id from the session, and it will pass that id to the this function, and then this function will help us to get the object of this currently logged user. For that the id is stored in the session, right? So, and it will store that inside a variable called current user, and that current user variable is what we say, we are able to use it, okay, use that variable. How we will use that current user? So in routes from Flask, we will import that variable current user. So inside that current user, this object is stored that we just retrieve it from database. Okay. Now, have any question or like want to ask something?
This part is not clear, sir.
It's not clear.
Very
Okay.
confusing. Yeah. Once,
So
I think.
I'll just explain the thing again.
Yeah, please recap this because
So
not doing this.
I have like how the Flask working. Okay, Flask
Yeah, yeah,
login is working. Okay,
yeah,
so
please.
suppose in the login route, I have loading that user object using login user. Okay, so here in the route login route, initially it's working from here. Okay, initially it's working from here. Where it goes, yeah,
Yeah, start from the login where
yeah,
we started login.
yeah. Login. I will tell those things. Okay. So
Okay,
first I'll tell you that how it's working. Okay.
okay,
So
okay.
this login user is a function of Flask login. Okay. What it does, it takes the object, database object, and ret- retrieve the ID or whatever the primary key of this object and store in the session. Okay. It's just take this object and take the retrieve the primary key of this object and then store that primary key in the session. Okay.
Yeah, this person is already identified and checked in the whether it's a user class or professional class or
Yeah, so
whatever it
it's
is.
we done. We
Already
have
done.
done that, right? So
Okay, fine.
we have checked the password and all those things. Now
Yeah,
password is matched means that he is able to log in. So that's why I am saving the ID to the session. So
okay.
there is one more box I should create for the session. Okay, so this is there. This wait a second. What I done? This login underscore user person. What it does, it takes the person object and it store the primary key to this here browser session. Okay, client side session. Here it's stored. Okay, so the work of this has done. The work of this has done. Now there is this load user function. So I'll just have to write. Now the command goes to load user function. Login manager, login underscore manager you have to do. Dot user underscore loader. So this is another function. It is a
This is
predefined
also
function
this function is also predefined in the Flask.
in the Flask login package. Okay, so
Flask
this
login
is
package we have. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So Flask login, this user loader has function is already there. So what it will do? So the ID is stored here, right? The ID is stored here, and it will it will again check the ID and retrieve it again. Okay, it will check the ID. If it will check whether the ID is exist, and it will take the ID. Okay, it will take the ID. Suppose that ID is taken this in ID object. Okay, ID variable, and then it will pass the ID to a function that we defined. Okay, that we defined. So suppose I have defined a function def login load user. Okay, and this ID will be passed inside this ID. Okay, now
This ID is not previous ID. This ID, this decorator, login manager user loader, is
yeah,
creating by checking, right?
Yeah, it retrieves the ID that is stored using that is stored by this
The same
login.
ID just it is retrieving, na?
It
It is not
retrieving
checking. It is
yeah,
not checking anything
yeah.
because
So
already logged in user is checked on, right?
yeah, so it will first check that the ID is already existed node, right? If that node exists, then how it will retrieve, right? So it will check that ID is there, and then it will retrieve the ID and pass it to this
The ID
function.
exists means ID exists in the session only,
Yeah, yeah,
not
in the session.
it will not check backwards, right?
Yeah, it will now check in the database
Okay,
all
fine.
that. Yeah.
Okay,
So it will go here in this check in the database. Okay.
yeah.
So sorry, in the session.
In a data session.
Session. So and it will pass that ID to this load user function, and then now this in this load user function that we have made, I'm returning object of this return object of this ID. So I've just done do db.session.query and filter by I am using this ID from the user class. Okay, and I'm returning it to it. And where it will
We,
return
we will retrieve the object.
object, and it will stored inside a current user variable. Okay, current user variable. Okay,
This
and
is fixed. This is the fixed name, current user.
yeah, this is fixed name current user. Okay,
Mhm.
current user, current user. I'm not taking the full
Okay,
name.
no problem. Just
So that is stored, and that is this current variable current user variable is inside flask login. Okay, so we have to import this flask login. So in the routes I have to use this current user. Okay, so the object is stored where we go, yeah. So I'm retrieving this current user. Okay, whatever current users retrieved, I'm just
from
importing
Flask
flask
login.
login. Yeah, because it's inside flask
And
login.
Flask login is in the app.
Yeah, it's connected with the app and all those things, right?
No, no, where this
Yeah, so
just
here
go here.
this
Here,
Flask
this is the app. Yeah, this
login
is the
manager is
separate
connected with
login.
app, and then I'm using this login manager dot user loader. It
And
will
our
retrieve.
function is load user.
It will no, it's a function of inbuilt function. It will retrieve the ID, and then our function is this load user.
Load user.
So it's running behind the scene, and it will retrieve the object for this ID from this user class. Okay, so it will retrieve that, and it will stored inside this current
This
user
user
variable.
underscore ID
Hmm.
go back. This user underscore ID is coming from the session.
Yeah, it's coming from the session. This person is this function is retrieved that ID, and
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
passing that
Session.
ID to this function 14th line.
And we are returning by fetching by filtering by this user ID.
We are filtering that this user ID, and then the object is returned, and it will return to the variable current user, and that current user inside this Flask login. Okay, so
Okay,
the
there
current
is
user
no need to store this fetched object in a separate. It will automatically go to the current user.
will go to the current user, right? So
Correct.
Flask login
Okay.
will handle all this part, right?
Okay, got
So
it.
it will
Current user. Now you go to the routes.
now in the routes we will have this current user object. Okay, so we had this current user. So if I go again here, go to login, put the let me check once again. There's no cookie, right? In the if I go to cookies, there are no cookie present. If I just go here, put my password XYZ, go choose this customer, submit. See, there is one then session cookie is stored immediately, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So it is stored by that login user here in the where it goes. Yeah, this login user will store this ID here, and it is an ugly looking string. So see, this does
Okay.
not look like an ID, right? But it's a string,
It is
something
secured. It is secured.
secured using that salt that we have created, that
Hmm.
what you say secret key. Okay, so it's stored here. Now uh, now I don't have to use this ID. Okay, I don't need this ID. Flask login itself will retrieve the database object. Okay, and it's stored in the current user. Okay, it's stored in the current user. I don't have to, like, in the what I'm doing in the current dashboard, I'm retrieving the id using query string and retrieving the object in the database. So I don't need that, right? I just can use current user variable itself. Okay, so this current user variable I can use. So instead of user, I just specify that take the current user and send it to the HTML file. Okay, now this current user is the object of user itself, right? And that is stored by the Flask login, and we are retrieving it, right? So this current user keeps the object. And how this current user keeps the object? Using this user loader. It is user loader itself fetch the id in the from the session, and it queries, it passes the id to this load user function. And now this load user function queries the user class using corresponding to this user id. Okay, and it returns, and where it returns to the current user variable. And now in the routes.py, I'm fetching this current user variable to use the current object. Okay, to use the current object, and I'm using it inside this render in this template. So in this template, current user customer dashboard, in this template the object is stored as you, and then I'm returning the name here. So let's see if this works or not. So let me check it. Route.py. Yeah, so there is nothing. Yeah, okay, now I will go to uh, wait a second. Go to application. Let me delete this session key. I'll just delete it. Again, let's log in. I'll show that how programmatically we can delete this ID. When log out, when user log out, then this session ID, then this session cookie should be deleted, right? So I just manually did it, and we will see how programming way how we will delete this. Okay, so I'll just try again, do this thing, and what I will do, put the password as a customer and submit it. And now also I'm able to see this, right? So I just coming here and just returning this current user. This current user keeps my object, and that's why I'm able to see my name here, right? I haven't query here from the database, right? I'm using the current user object. I hope you got this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any question, anything?
Got something. Means current user will be the available. Current user will be available for that session.
Like you
Anywhere,
got this,
anywhere
right?
we can use. Anywhere we can use if it is logged in.
Yeah.
Yes, understood, Himanshu. So, I just want to recall the page, going directly to customer dashboard without logging. For handling that, what we did,
Yeah.
I just
So
want
for
to, yeah.
we didn't handle it. So we will just
Mhm.
use one thing, login underscore required. Okay, login required, and we have to just import it from Flask login.
Okay.
Login required. Okay, this login required. So before going to this login is required. Before going to this route, it's
Mhm.
required. So when a query come here, it will go here. It will first check that a session id is stored in the session. Okay, a id is stored in the session. If it is not present there, then it will give an error. Let me show you. So
Okay.
I go to here. I'll just delete the first. I will delete the cookie
Session. Okay.
cookie
Okay.
session cookie. I'm manually doing it. I'll just tell you that how we will do programmatically.
Yeah.
And I'm at login. Let me go to login. And without logging, I'm just do
Mhm.
customer dashboard. Okay, I'll just do
Okay.
customer dashboard. And if I hit enter, I'm coming here. Why I'm coming here? Wait a second. Login required. Is this spelling correct? Or there's some wrong. Dashboard. Wait a second. There's no cookie present. Why it's happening? Is there anything that I'm missing? Let me check. Hmm. One second. I think I'm missing something. I'm not able to call it.
Okay.
Login required. This is called login required. Uh, Login user, logout user, login required. I imported. So why it's not working here? The spelling is correct. Login required. There's some error. Oh, login required. So I have import it. I have to import it from Flask-Login. Okay.
Um, can you run it again? I
Yeah,
think
I'm trying.
last time you didn't run app.py. I think I'm not sure.
Run the app.py again.
Yeah, I'll just do it. Yeah, so it's running. Hmm. First, let me see. No session cookie is stored. Actually, to application, there's no cookie. Close it. Customer dashboard. If I enter, yeah. So see, it says this unauthorized. Server
Okay.
could not verify that you are authorized to access the URL. Okay.
Mhm. So initially we started with this only, right? You said for this session content, initially you said like first of all going directly to the dashboard, we shouldn't be able to without logging.
Hmm.
Next, you said like we should carry forward the ID of the person who has logged in,
Hmm.
and if if the session cookie is already present, then only we will be able to make that person proceed to the dashboard. Otherwise, we'll redirect it to a login page, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
And we in the next suppose it's coming to this one more thing. So it's coming to this where it goes from the login route. It's coming to this dashboard route. Okay, from this login route, it's coming to the dashboard route. So now, which user is coming? How would I know which user coming and uh, for which user I have to show the data? So
yeah,
in
for
this
that.
current user will be helpful. We will know that this is the current user that is just login, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is how it's current user helpful. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So and just when log out, when it will log out. So let me make a logout button.
Okay.
Route app dot route. I'm creating a logout saying methods at, and before logging out, the login is required, right? If he is not logged in, then how it he log out, right? So
Yes.
for this also he required a login. Now this logout it will do.
It will not ask for login. It will just check whether it is logged in or not,
Yeah,
right?
it will. Yeah. So
at the rate login underscore required just checks whether it is logged in or not.
Yeah, and it should send it to, it should redirect it to uh, login page, login route. I'm just doing login, and before that I have to clear the cookies. So there is a function to clear the cookie from the Flask login. So I'll call this logout user. So for setting query, I use login user. Okay. For setting the ID, sorry, cookies, I use this login user. For clearing the cookie, I'm using this logout user. So here in the login, I use this login user to set the session cookie as ID as session cookie, and I will this use logout user function. It takes no argument, it just log out, it just clear out all the cookies that is currently stored in the session in the browser. Okay, and it will redirect it to login. So if I just go here, just let me just make a login button inside this dashboard page. So I'm able to log out customer dashboard. I'll create a button, anchor log href. I'm just saying log out. So it will query that, it will go to this route whatever we just made, and it will ask first it is logged in. If it is logged in, go inside and just clear the cookies and redirect it to login page. Now let's do start again. Go to login. I'll store correct. It's just wait. Yeah. So let me just put correct password xyz customer, submit it. So the session is stored. It's showing everything here. Current user name is shown,
Cookie is there.
and if I click on logout, cookies is cleared and
Okay.
coming to login page. Right, a fairly simple checking method, session management method we have created. But there is one more thing. If you have time, then we can continue, because I want to cover that like today only. It's a small part. I think 15 minutes it will take. So can we
Okay.
do go ahead? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So now you see that this ID, there's one more problem. I have three entities: admin, user, and what I say, admin, user, and professional.
Professionals.
Okay.
Professionals.
Now here it retrieves the ID and it queries from the user class. Okay, but I don't know that whether this ID is of user class, is of professional class, or is of admin class. I
Admin.
don't know. Here I'm just storing the use login in the login user. If you see here, I'm just doing it for the wait. Yeah, I'm just doing it for the user object, right? If this person is user, then this will store. So admin, I have to do the same thing, right? For admin I have to do the same thing. For admin I have to do the same thing here, and for professional I have to do the same thing. Now if this is an admin, then this login user will store the person ID, right? Now here, while retrieving the object back as current in the current user will keep the ID, right? Keep the object, right? And how I am retrieving that object using this. But this ID could be of any class, right? Not necessary user class.
What you mean to say the current user may be of the any class, user,
Yeah,
professional, or admin, right?
correct. So we can just do whatever we have, right? It will first query from this.
The same analogy whatever we
Yeah,
did, yeah? Or
yeah,
this
here,
or this.
or this otherwise let's take it. Wait a second. And First, it will query from the user. If it retrieves them from the user, then it will return. Otherwise, or we are mentioning or means if either this or this. If it is not there, then it will check for this. Then uh, we will query from admin, and similarly, let me put backslash here, enter, or backslash, and similarly from the professional. So now this ID will this ID will be retrieved, right? Now it will check from any of these, and if it is present in any of these, then it will return, right? So I think it's fairly simple. I think it should
It
work.
will return
Let's,
the current user only, na?
yeah, it will return the current user with this ID, whatever the ID is stored, and it will return from any of the class, right? This ID should belong from, but now,
But
okay.
if we already know the current user, then
We,
the object current user is already we saw which
how
class
we
it
know
belongs
now,
to.
this current user, the object inside the current user is stored by this function only, right? So we have to store inside the current user. It's not itself doing it, right? This function will run for the current user, and this the output of this function will be stored in the current user. Okay.
Where
Output
we
of
are
this
where we are storing in the current user.
in the current user, it's getting stored by Flask
Okay,
login
automatically by class.
automatically.
Okay.
It will query
Okay.
this and just do it. But there is one more problem, right? This
Suppose we
ID.
don't do this or, then current user will be stored.
So then
Current
it will let me just complete it. Okay,
Okay,
I'm
okay,
covering whole
okay,
part.
okay,
Okay, I'm
okay,
covering
okay,
whole part. So
okay,
this it will retrieve the session cookie and it will convert as an ID, right? So for database we need required 1 2 3, right? And in the session it's like one ugly looking string, right? The session. So it will what it will do? It will retrieve the session cookie and convert it to the valid ID because it has the secret key, right? It has the secret key. So now this user ID contains the actual ID, not the session cookie. Okay, so now this ID, now this ID will be 1 2 3 4 5, right? Whatever the primary key is there. Okay,
hmm.
now see, for user also it will be 1 2 3, even if it is a admin object. Okay, even if it is a admin object, we have stored an admin object there. It will query from the first, it will query from the user class, and it will filter by ID equal to user ID, and this user ID can contains 1 2 3. Okay, one, suppose this user ID contains
Now
one.
got it. Now got it.
No, like there is one problem. What you have got, is this correct? We have written this correct? Is this logically correct?
No, no, because I 1 1 2 3 will be in the all the three
Yeah,
user admin.
so the user will also have one ID. So
Yeah.
now it as a current, I'm logging as an admin, but the current user will store user corresponding to that ID one. Okay, so this is the confusion, right? Current user will be a customer object of ID one, but I want current user should be a admin object of ID one. So this is not logically correct. Now I have to come up with a different way. Okay, so
The current user will store the object only or ID only.
mm,
I think object it will store.
current user will store object, right? So I'm saying for
If
ID
ID one
equal,
is there, then everything will be there.
yeah.
Whether which.
So it will be the user will be stored of the ID one, right? I'm
Mhm.
login as admin. I store my ID. Flash login store my ID in the session. ID equal to one. Now it retrieves the ID here. User loader. It retrieves
Mm.
the ID. It passes through it, and now it's querying from the database. So it will query from the user. ID equal to one. So user contains a, suppose user contains a object which is ID equal to one. So it will return that object to the current user. Now the current user contains the object of user class,
Mhm.
right? But it should not be like this. It should be
Correct,
the
correct.
object should be the admin class, right? I hope you got the
Mhm.
problem. What is the problem with this?
Yeah, got the problem because
So
only ID will be there stored.
yeah, so it we have to come up with a different way. Now there is how the id is stored. First we should go that how the id is stored. The primary key is stored in the session, right? The primary key which is the id that is stored in the session, right? I initially said that this load user in the route, it will store the id, the primary key of this user object. And how it knows the primary key of this user object? Because we have done this user mixing, which is a class of Flask-Login. We have incorporated this user mixing class in these classes, and it is able to retrieve the primary key for this person, and then it will store this id to their session, right? Now, is there something that can I store instead of id? Can I start something else? Can I store the name? Can I store the email address?
No, no, primary key only it will be better, not
Yeah,
to.
but there's somehow we can do it. So what in backend? So let's go deep, something deep, right? So some more deep. This login user, okay, will go to this object class. This person is of user class. Okay, so suppose
Yeah.
this person of user class. If it is come to here, then this person is of admin class, and this person is of professional class. So suppose the password is meshed and he is of professional class, and then he will come here, login user. Now it will check that for professional what is the primary key, it's id. So how it will checks? So this professional implement this db.model class. This is a base class in the SQL alchemy. Okay, so this db.model class has a function. db.model class has a function called get_id, and that get underscore id, what it will give? It will give the primary key. It will give the primary key. So this login user in the route, this login user at the first retrieve the primary key using get id function of this db.model. Okay, so it retrieves the primary key using get underscore id function, and then it will store that id in the session. So this primary key of this professional class is id, so it will retrieve the id and primary key and then store. So I'm not the get id method is not present here because it is present in the parent class, and the parent class is db.model, and the db.model is already defined in the SQL alchemy. Okay, so I'm not able to see here, but in the uh, object oriented programming, we can override a function of parent class in the child class. So what is the child class? This child class is this professional, and the parent class is the db.model. So this db.model contains a get id function. Okay, this is just a basic Python. Okay, this db.model contains a what it contains? It contains a function get underscore id. That get underscore id will give the id of a object. It will give a id of a object, and it will just give it to whoever call this. So whoever call this get id function, this login user has called this get id function. Okay, so it will give the id primary key and store in, and then now this login user will store that id primary key in the session. So I have to override that function. Okay, I have to override because the get id is behaving as like it is returning primary key, but I don't want primary key. I want, suppose, email. I want to store the email because email is unique for everybody, everyone. Because ID is same for professional, will have, can have one ID equal to one. Admin can have ID equal to one. User can have ID equal to one. But same email cannot have multiple entity can have same email, right? So I want to give not the primary key but email as an suppose email as an cookie, okay, not the primary key as id, okay. So I'll give email, so I have to override that function. So it I will override that function here in this child class. What is the child class? Professional class. So I'll get underscore id, and where it goes, yeah. So I'm just I hope you are aware in python how we just
In the table itself, we will write this function.
yeah, this is, it's not the it's a class, right? First
Okay.
it's a class, and how it is a database table because I am implemented this db dot model, right?
Mhm.
Parent class. I this class implements this db dot model, and this db dot model is SQL coming. So that's why SQL coming creating this class as a table. Okay, but in
Hmm.
Python, a class is a object oriented programming concept, right? So whatever we do in object oriented programming will apply on this class also, right?
Yeah,
So
this function
the
will apply on the class.
yeah.
Yeah, on the class.
So this db dot model contains a get id function. So we are overriding that function in this child class. So I'm overriding that function in the child class for that object, and I'm returning uh, not the id. I'm not returning. So initially inside this db dot model, this get id function is written like this. So it's returning the id, which is the primary key. Okay, but I don't want to return the id. I want to return the email because this email is unique for everybody, right? Now this email is returned, and it is returned to this login user. So first it will take this object, and it will take this object, it will call the get id function, it will get the primary key. So now I've override that get id function, so it will not take the primary key, it will take the email, and it will store that email in the session cookie, okay, in the session cookie. Now the email is stored in the session cookie. Now let's go to app.py. So the in the email is stored to session cookie. Now this user loader will retrieve the email, not the id. Whatever is stored in this, now the stored thing is email. So it will retrieve that email, and now I will do email. Sorry, user underscore email. Okay. Now the email will be retrieved from the session, and now db dot session dot query. Let's I just do. So instead of ID, I can just use email, and instead of querying corresponding to ID, I can just email equal to user underscore email, because email will be different for every entity, right? User underscore email. Now this email will be, so if that email that I retrieve from the session it not exists in the user, then it will exist in admin, and if it does not like exist in both the two, then finally it should be in the professional, right? So in one of the three it should be present, the email, because it's stored in the session, right?
Hmm.
I hope you got this right. Do you have any question?
No.
And we will implement it.
No.
Then we will be clear.
Like you got how it's working, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we got the
So it's very,
concept will learn, but we have to implement it and just
yeah.
get it.
So let's just try that whatever we have done first.
This is also compulsory part of our core functionality,
No,
or
like
this is
I'll
just
tell you, no. I'll
additional
tell
part.
you, it's helpful, it's additional, it's recommended, but means that you can do. It's not that. Then what you have to do, then you for keeping the record of current user, who is the user logged in, who the user going from one route to another route, right? So keeping the record of that user is not it's not easy. We have to, every time we are passing the user to another route, we have to give the id, and then we have to again query the user object. So instead of doing that, I can use this flash login current user. So I know that who is the current user logged in, and I, if the user is going to different routes, I know that who is the current user, and I can show the content tailored to that user, right? I hope you are getting the problem and how this
Getting the
flash
problem.
login,
Getting the problem.
flash
The
login and
main
current
problem
user.
is in the classes we are using the IDs. That IDs may coincide.
Yes. So
1, 2, 3, 4. This is the basic problem we are resorting, right?
hmm. So we are we are able to keep track of current user, and we can show, we don't have to worry about how to we keep track of that. Current user will store the current user. Like if I go to any other route, it will store the current user. Okay. So let's just try if it is working or not. I'll go to this login. Let's just open inspect application. I'll put password XYZ. I'll put admin. I'll go customer. Submit it. Yeah. So session is cookie stirred. Now the session cookie, the ID won't be there. It's like it is. It will be email, right? So it self look for that, and it says unauthorized. Why it says unauthorized? It should not say to unauthorized. Okay.
You either supplied the wrong credentials, maybe bad password, something we are using.
No, if the credentials are wrong, then why the
Okay, okay. Yeah.
key is stored? XYZ customer and submit. Why it's showing unauthorized?
Refresh it again. Just restart it. Sometimes it happens.
Maybe let's try.
Yeah, most of the time I restart it.
/login, and I'll put name XYZ customer. Oh no, it's not working. I don't know why. Authorized. It's authorized, right? Let me see. Okay. I don't know why it's not working. It's not giving any error. We have to look at. Logically, I think there is nothing wrong, but I don't know why it's giving error. It's not giving error, but it's giving wrong output. Unauthorized. Why it's unauthorized? Customer dashboard. It will check. Is it because we have override this get ID function? Okay, let me do it in a different way. Oh, okay. I haven't done it here. Wait a second. Where is this models.py? I've put this get email get ID in this professional only, right? I haven't put this in the user, so I have to do it here
Everywhere it should be there, correct?
in the whole thing. I think that could be the reason. It's not giving error because maybe it's, yeah, it won't give error because get ID function is there in the parent class, so it will take from there. Again, let me try it with the cookie. Go to login. XYZ. Yeah, now it's working. So see, it's working fairly. Now if I click on logout and it's logout, the session is cleared. I hope
Hmm.
got it right. So this is it for the session management. Now you can use current user in any of your route, and you are able to fairly know who is the current user logged in. Okay.
Okay.
So this is it for today's class. Let me stop
Sir,
sharing and
one thing. We are storing the